This is Josh Calvin, editor of Progress Illinois. I'm here in Austin, Texas at Netroots Nation. I'm standing with Scott Harper. He's the Democratic candidate in the 13th district in Illinois, running against GOP incumbent Judy Biggert. Scott, welcome.
Thank you, Josh. Pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little about, you've been to these events before. This is the third annual, it used to be called Yearly Coast, now it's Netroots Nation. Is it true that you came through before?
I was at last year's event at McCormick Place.
Right. And tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Netroots, whether local bloggers or this sort of national community, what it means to you, and what kind of contact you've had over the years.
Well, we're working very hard, as you know, with the grassroots in the district, in the area, and we're very pleased with what we're feeling about change in general. On the ground, and people being excited to change the way things are done in Washington and get rid of this incumbency. Let's just do the same things in the same way and expect a different result that Judy Biggert and Bush have done. So I'm really, really excited about the response we've had with the blogger community and the activist community being involved in the campaign and helping us out on the ground especially.
And you guys had a great second quarter fundraising. We noted those numbers on the website. Tell us a little bit about what you think contributed to that.
Well, I really think that it's a sense of frustration with the Bush-Biggert regime. We're getting so much support for people who just are so frustrated with this administration's approach to the war, with Biggert's vote to just accommodate the Bush administration, and especially on the economy. We're finding that people are, some of our families are so frustrated with the high gas prices, with the mortgage crisis, with their commuting distances, with the lack of jobs, with the attack on the middle class, and other people are frustrated with the lack of fiscal responsibility that this Bush-Biggert regime has landed us with, and the resulting fall in the dollar and the threat of inflation that poses, and the danger to their businesses. So on both sides, we see real economic critiques, and those are the kinds of things that that people are excited to have me go to Congress to fix.
Nice. And we did an interview with you. Over a month ago, a couple months ago actually, and I urge people to go read it. It was, in-depth in the policy sense and a very interesting thing. It's on our website. And I just wanted to ask you, you talked briefly in that interview about your grassroots operation, which was just kind of a couple months ago. You had a substantial one, but I hear that it's been growing, and you guys have been expanding. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
It really has been expanding. We had a great event just less than a week ago. We called it 13 for the 13th because it was on July 13th. And what we did in that event was we had grassroots activists in all 13 of the townships that are in our congressional district simultaneously. And we had over 100 people. We contacted over 3,000 voters on one day. We all got together for a big picnic in the center of the district, which is Bowling Brook, later that afternoon, and just celebrated what we're doing and the activity and the dynamism of the campaign. We're adding staff. We've got a lot of interns. We've got a lot of youth excitement, but we've also got a lot of volunteers. Over 1,200 people now have helped the campaign out in some way or other. So it's really gathering momentum.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And to bring it back to sort of the issues that are facing Illinois residents these days, I know you probably saw the unemployment numbers out of June went from 6.4 to 6.8%. It's a lot higher than the national average. It is definitely a cause for concern for a lot of people. I think it's over 6,000 jobs lost in that month. Tell us a little bit about what you see as the first steps once you're in office to fixing this economic slide that we seem to be in.
Yeah. Let me start out with just saying that I feel what these people are going through. I mean, so many people came to our area because because they wanted, you know, decent living space for their families, but they've got a long commute, so gas prices are killing people. And then the housing foreclosure fiasco is also really hurting some of our families. So with my background as a businessman, as a successful entrepreneur, I know what will work and what won't in terms of government policy. A lot of what's happening that's attacking our working families, that's attacking our middle class, is tax policies, lack of research initiatives. So I think probably the first step is to make sure we get the tax policy right and we start working for working families instead of against them. I mean, I think the two biggest sort of stimulus packages that make the most sense, not only for our district, but for people across the country, are the extension of the unemployment benefits and a real sort of public works, public infrastructure project that would get people working, but also have the medium-term benefit of improving our infrastructure that we all depend upon.
Once again, I urge people to go and read Mose Buchel's interview with Scott from a couple months ago. Very informative and more in-depth than this is. But once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Josh.